Hello everyone, welcome to Homework Help. If you find the videos useful, please subscribe to the channel. So we have to solve these two absolute value function equations. So before we do that, let's try to understand what is an absolute value function. So absolute value function is a function that gives us the positive value of a expression or a value irrespective of its sign. So no matter what the actual value of an algebraic expression or a number is, we always get the positive value of that number or that algebraic expression from the absolute value function. So we can go over a couple of examples. So for example, the absolute value function applied to -4 gives us the value 4. So the negative sign goes away. And then the absolute value function applied to 5 is equal to 5 because 5 is already a positive value, so nothing changes. Now an absolute value function is represented by these absolute value bars, these vertical lines that are put on both sides of that algebraic expression or number. So this is the basic overview of an absolute value function. Now in this first equation on the left side, we have to solve for the variable x, because in an equation we have to solve for the variable in the equation. Now in this absolute value equation, we are given this expression x plus 3 between these absolute bars, and the value of this expression is equal to 7. So we have to solve this equation by isolating x. Now in order to do that, we have to get rid of these absolute function bars, and for that we'll break down this equation into two cases. So one of them is a positive case, and that will be x plus 3 equals 7, and the other is the negative case. X plus 3 is equal to -7. Now why do we do that? So we have to go back to the definition of absolute value function. We get the positive value of an expression or a number. Now the absolute value of x plus 3 is equal to 7. That means x plus 3 can be positive 7 or -7, because the absolute value function will only give us the positive value. But in reality, x plus 3 can be either positive or negative. So that's why we have to analyze these two cases and then solve for the variable. So let's start with the positive case. So we have to isolate x in this equation. So we have to subtract 3 from both sides. So as a result, the 3 on the left side cancel each other out, and we get x equals 7 minus 3, which is equal to 4. So this is the first solution for this absolute value function equation. Now we can analyze the negative case. So we have to isolate x. So we subtract 3 from both sides. So the 3's on the left side cancel each other out, and we get x equals, so here we have to do -7 minus 3, which is equal to -10. So this is the second solution for this absolute value function equation. So this equation has two solutions, x equals 4 and x equals -10. Now we can check to see if our answers are correct, and I can show you why this equation has two solutions. So first we can sub in x as 4. So if we do that, so we get 4 plus 3 equals 7. Now 4 plus 3 are between these absolute function bars. So now we can add 4 plus 3, which is equal to 7. Now the absolute value of 7 is also equal to 7, because as we discussed earlier, so the number stays the same. It's only that if it's a negative number, it becomes a positive number, but the positive number stays as the positive number. So that means x equals 4 is a valid solution. Now we can analyze the other solution. So -10 plus 3 equals 7. So negative 10 plus 3 is equal to negative 7. And we know from the definition of absolute value function, negative 7 changes to positive 7. So again, the left side becomes equal to the right side. That means the second solution is also a valid solution. So that means this equation has two valid solutions. Now we can analyze our second equation. Now in the second equation, we are given that the absolute value of x minus 6 is equal to negative 1. Now based on the definition of absolute value function, it is not possible for the absolute value of an expression or a number equal negative 1 because that's opposite to the definition of the absolute value function. So therefore, this is an invalid situation. So as a result, this equation has no solution. So there's a very important concept you need to understand and memorize about absolute value function equations. So sometimes you can get a question like this as a multiple choice question, and one of the options will be no solution. So that will be the answer for this kind of equation. So I hope you'll find this video useful. Please share it, like it, and subscribe to Homework Help. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye.